Alright, welcome back to another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. As of yesterday, news broke, Frank Vogel is out as the Lakers head coach, and LeBron is somewhat to blame? Question mark slash is he gonna stay in LA?
I think LeBron's full of the blame. I think that was LeBron saying he's got to go. Just like he did with Tyronn Lue, like he did with Spoelstra. And who was the guy who came in after Lue
At Cleveland?
At Cleveland. Oh, and then he got Walton fired too.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's just.
So do you think it was? So you think it was LeBron potentially going up to the GM and hiring management saying, "Hey, he's not getting it done"?
Yeah. I mean, LeBron has put this team together. Like, as a Miami Heat fan, I know how it was back in the day. I know what happened when LeBron was there. Obviously, that he didn't get away with firing Eric Spoelstra and just ended up leaving the next year. But, I mean, the big thing, but he still tried to get Eric Spoelstra fired.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. So, you win back-to-back championships and you try and get the guy fired. I mean, I just don't understand that. But anyways, so it's still LeBron. It's still his team. He made the moves for Russell Westbrook. Keith called it when we did our way too early back in 7 months ago. The team, the 93-year-old team over here is not going to get it done. Everybody's going to get injured. Russell Westbrook's not good anymore. He called all this shit, and here we are. The season sucked. He's gotten injured. They didn't make the playoffs. Luke Walton's gone, and I mean, the rumors are starting to.
Vogel's gone.
Yeah, or Vogel's gone. Sorry.
Either way.
Luke Walton's also still gone.
not an incorrect statement. It's just wrong coaching. But it is not Frank Vogel's fault.
It's not Frank Vogel's fault.
Like he's not out together. Not only that, but he's not out there playing. Like it is still.
There's a video that I shared, and I know Chris saw on Facebook, where it was like apparently this was all Frank Vogel's fault, and it was like 5 minutes of like montage of like LeBron and Westbrook just like
missing shots.
Just missing shots. Like they would shoot and they would hit the shot clock above the board. Like horrible stuff. Like one time, like LeBron just fell. Russell went up to for a layup and really just threw it over the whole entire goal. Like it was a huge montage of him just sucking. It's like you said, the head coach at the end of the day is not the one out there doing that shit. And then,
but heaven forbid you would be like, "Hey, dude, you're not getting it done. I'm going to put in this guy." Heaven forbid you bench LeBron, you bench Russell Westbrook, or in this, AD or anybody like that, dude. This super team that they went out and put together. Heaven forbid you did your job as the coach and said, "Hey, you're not getting it done. I'm going to give the next guy in line a try."
It's insane that LeBron just is always blaming
everybody
but himself. And it's not the fact that he can't get along with anybody on his teams. Because I mean, hell, I think Dwayne Wade was really the last guy he ever really meshed okay with on a team, and they weren't just like. You could tell they were fine during the press room. You can tell that they were competing against each other. Him and Kyrie.
That's why Kyrie left, because he wanted Kyrie gone.
Yeah, Kyrie was done.
And then Kevin Love. Him and Kevin Love had a couple.
So he's always been.
I mean, him and Russ are having issues like that.
Russ has issues with anybody.
You can guarantee Russell Westbrook is not going to be a Laker next season. One way or the other, they're going to find a way to handle it against somebody else.
The question is now: is LeBron going to be a Laker?
No. Yeah, that's kind of the interesting thing. So LeBron technically has one more year in his contract. It's fully guaranteed, $44.4 million.
I say
he becomes an unrestricted free agent.
I say he plays it because of the guaranteed money. Yeah. He plays as a Laker, but then again though, he's going to be in on this. Who should we hire as a coach? But then immediately leave after.
Well, it doesn't matter. That's the bullshit part because he's going to coach the team. Yeah. It doesn't matter who the hell they bring in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like you're saying, it could have been they could bring in Ricky Balknife from over here, booking at
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
If I was
Phil Jackson back, and it wouldn't matter.
I mean, if I was Vogel, I would kind of do a tell-all right now. I wouldn't go out and bash people, but
I
would shine the light, shine the flashlight on hey, that locker room was a shit show. I would come out and say all that stuff. If it was really like that, come out and say it. If anything, it's not do it in a way where it's not him bad mouth organization, but it's him kind of saving his own face for
he's
clearly this was not my fault. This was I was a coach for LeBron kind of thing. If he come out and discuss all that,
or what's it called? A headpiece, not the headpiece. What do they call it when? like a monarch who's in charge.
Oh, yeah. He's just kind of like a puppet.
Yeah. You know.
A figurehead.
Figurehead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a figurehead for the team essentially. You know, I was given title as coach, but
He was
reality.
Yeah, he's the martyr. He's
taking the martyr. He's taking the blame for it now.
But you know, in reality, you know, I had to play coach.
So taking it.
So
I
here's
had
the
to play
question.
coach the entire time.
Well, so 2 questions. The $44 million a year. Where does that rank on comparable salaries in the NBA?
I'll look it up.
That's like half a team's salary.
So yeah, where does he rank like the highest paid players in the NBA? But then, second question is when will Bronny's first year in the league be?
So that is the interesting part. So my thought is LeBron. I'm with Adam. I think he plays his 38. Well, he'll be 38 next season. He'll play that season, get the $44.4 million from the Lakers. He's not going to resign. He's going to be that unrestricted free agent. So at 39 in the spring of 2023, when the season's over, he'll be available to go wherever he wants. Bronny James is a 2023 graduate, so he'll graduate next spring and be able
Which
to
will be
go,
going into Dad's free agency.
which will go into Dad's
But
free
not only
agency.
that, he can technically go into the G League
Yes. So if he
out of
reclassifies,
high school.
yeah,
He
if
can pull a
reclass-
Lamelo and go to the G League now.
Yeah, if he reclassifies and actually graduates this year, he could go into the G League, and then he can be opted up into the draft for the 2023 draft. And so, in the 2023 draft, what's happening now is people are drafting G League players based on how well they're playing, things like that, and where you want to draft them. So, wherever he gets drafted, then Dad can actually go to that team and play with him.
Which is interesting, like looking at his recruiting page. I mean, we don't know the true story, but like, he's not warm on any college. He's not like super interested in any college. It seems
Yeah,
like.
it's
Because, like,
interesting.
would he do that? Would Dad make him take the Bell family route or
I would,
or Ball
but
family
no,
route?
as
I'd
a,
be interested. I mean,
I can see him going to Europe playing the G League. I don't see him going to school.
yeah. He's the 35th national player on the 247 composite ranking. He's the 7th best guard and 4th best player in California. So he's almost a 5-star, and he's showing interest in Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, and North Carolina. He's got no offers from any of them as of late. But
which is surprising though.
well, I don't think they're going to.
I think they know.
I think they know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to extend an offer. I think they know that he's going to go to the G League and play.
And well, now let's say
go
it's,
up.
So how much time does he have to spend in the G League when he
1
graduates
year.
next?
You
Okay.
technically
He's going to
have
be a year out of high school.
So I think what happens is going to be LeBron plays next year just
Why?
to get the money.
while he's in G League, but also making money. Like,
No,
like
next
I said,
year.
Here's the thing: is
No,
if he doesn't- if
his
he doesn't-
final Lakers year, his son's still in high school.
Yeah. So
His
if
son's
he
still in
doesn't,
school. So then he goes to unrestricted free agency. He goes to whatever team he wants to. He plays that 1 year with that team, and then makes him draft Bronny.
yeah. So Bronny would have to literally reclassify to be able to line it up perfectly talent-wise.
Yeah.
He has to reclassify as a senior this coming year.
Yeah, he'd have to graduate.
He'd have to early graduate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
graduate in a month. So, which it doesn't sound like he's going to do. It's probably kind of too late to do that at this point. But
So I mean, but now you're
Sorry,
looking at
school's
40.
over.
You're looking at 40-year-old LeBron
you were looking at a 40-year-old LeBron. Yeah.
demanding a team
To
hey,
draft
draft
his
my
son.
son.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, owner, GM, whoever he says this to, will take it under consideration versus saying,
That's-
you know what, you're 40 years old, I don't give a shit, I need to build my team around somebody who's worth a damn.
That's somebody who's actually coming in and help my team.
That's
Exactly.
actually the point that I wanted to get across about 3 minutes ago was we're really blaming LeBron, and LeBron deserves the blame for what's happening in the Lakers right now because LeBron has made this mess. But shouldn't we honestly be blaming some of these teams? I mean, should we not be blaming Cleveland for the cat
For allowing him to act that way.
the
And-
way he did in
and-
Cleveland, and then put him in the cap hell, then they're frozen
And
in this
then-
cap hell,
and
they
then
can't
brought
get
it-
any
and brought it
leads.
back.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the same thing he's done with the Lakers. He's come here, he's going, all right, trade the entire damn team, let's get Anthony Davis and let's play it, right? All of a sudden, Anthony Davis isn't enough. All right, well, let's bring in Melo at 30 billion years old.
36 years
Let's bring in Russell Westbrook, and he's 3 years past our prime. Let's make sure we get this person and this person. And, I mean,
So yeah, as
shouldn't we be blaming the organization just a little bit? I mean, Jeannie Buss obviously isn't in control there anymore anyways, but...
I mean,
It's-
there's definitely a blame on both sides. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't let one player. I don't care who it is. I mean, I don't think Chicago let Jordan do any of that. I mean,
From-
Kobe didn't do any of that.
Yeah, so Kobe certainly didn't do any of that. I think
And
Phil,
that was shown with all the years that Kobe went and having a shit team
yeah,
and still stayed and played.
yeah.
So
I mean, Phil said that Jordan really, said he wanted these people and stuff, and they kind of kept saying no to him and kind of built it. And Jordan kind of one-hand manded it, and I think
Yeah, but
so
Jordan's that kind of player.
Jordan's that kind of guy that when you say no to me, he's going to go try and do it on his own anyways.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And
so,
he's going to do it.
and he did it on his own. Yeah. I mean, in fairness,
And we all know from like the Last Dance, 30 for 30, for ESPN, like Jordan and his GM did not get along at all. So it's not like Jordan could go in there and be like, "Hey, go draft this player," because that GM would look at it like, screw off, go kick rocks.
Yeah. And that, I mean, I think that's what honestly should have been done to LeBron James when he came to the Lakers. I think Magic and Genie and all these people
with any team he went to
should have. Well, Cleveland can just bend over. Cleveland needs the help anyways. But I mean,
But no,
it's also he's the Cleveland boy, so they
But as a Laker, yes, they should have been like, look, we'll bring you on because we think you can actually help the team, but I'm not going to let you sit here and trade away 4 of my young prospects. For
good, talented prospects too.
Yeah. But for an AD who was in his prime, but wasn't coming off an injury that previous year.
He's always been injured.
But I mean, yes, you're looking at who at the time was probably one of the best power forwards in the league, but he was injury prone.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, well now he's injury prone again.
I need somebody else.
I need somebody else. Oh, and now all of a sudden you're looking at, like you're saying, you're looking at 5 years past your prime in LaMelo, 3 years past your prime as your solutions.
Well,
they wanted Chris Paul this offseason. That was the big thing, is that he wanted to get his buddy Chris Paul over here.
And Chris Paul opted
out and still said no and came back to Phoenix, which should have been a little bit of a telltale sign of what was going on.
I mean, that was the same thing like with Magic resigning the way he did.
That,
there was that stuff.
I'm not going to be here.
The internal issues and like the emails that were making fun of him that got sent to him, stuff like that. It's like when you have the president of the team, wasn't that the position he was in? Wasn't it the president?
He was president or something. Yeah, I mean, he was way up.
When you have a guy like that
who resigns
and just gives out because
who's a
players
legend
are causing,
who's a legend at that team, arguably one of the best, best to play in uniform.
I kind of want to pose this argument too, little side rail, but with all this stuff going on, and I was reading an article today about like there's the supposed demise of the super teams now because like it didn't work out for Brooklyn, it didn't work out for LA.
Like, it didn't work out for Boston because they couldn't stay healthy.
True.
Kyrie didn't get back, so he could play half the season.
There's underlying issues there, yes, but how does this argue into like the GOAT factor that these guys are on these super teams and still can't even get, like at least the Lakers couldn't even make it to the playoffs?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Like what was like, I mean like not even like we're talking about Jordan, but like let's talk about like hell, this is gonna be kind of a funny reference, but any of the NBA players that were in the original Space Jam, from Charles Barkley to
Larry Johnson,
Muggsy
Bogues,
I think the guy at the Knicks,
Sean Bradley, Patrick Ewing.
Like, you put all those guys on a super team in that time period, I feel like
nobody's beating them.
Yeah.
And they would have meshed and played well together.
The interesting argument, and I want to address this in 2 or 3 years whenever LeBron retires and we finally do that video about LeBron versus Jordan, which is going to be so interesting.
Now, I'm not...
But I want to address this, and I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to say it again in 3 or 4 years whenever it happens. It's a little bit different because LeBron is and I'm going to defend LeBron. He's playing in an era where this is the greatest NBA we've ever had. This is the most talent the NBA has ever had.
I agree.
And so
for
him to feel like, now, granted, he created a super team in Miami, and that's kind of kickstarted this whole damn thing.
Not 1, not 2, not 3.
Yeah, and I mean the Boston team was really good. You know, the old Lakers teams with Derek Fisher and Kobe and Shaq were really good. But I mean, he kind of kickstarted this whole let's come together and build a super team, not it's drafted, together super team thing. But it almost feels like you have to have that. I mean, while the Greek Freak won a championship, he didn't win it single-handedly. I mean, Chris Middleton is a really, really good player, right?
And Eric Bledsoe on that team.
And Eric Bledsoe is a really good scorer. So, Phoenix has a super team. Miami doesn't.
But I mean, you didn't go out and buy your super team. Like, they got Devin Booker 1 year and then drafted DeAndre Ayton.
Like, they brought Chris Paul in.
Yeah.
I mean, they paid to bring Chris Paul in. He's making
I get what I'm saying.
He's making $40 million a year.
It's different.
Yeah, but it's different player versus a whole team.
Then your off season, you go out and get 4 players to match up with the one other player.
It's like the Yankees going out in baseball and paying all the top end free agents.
Or the
Dodgers. The Dodgers lose to a team in a World Series and
pick their
best player. Like they've done it the last 3 World Series they've lost. They've gotten the best player off the team they lost to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of
the best.
Yeah,
I don't think Freddie would have been the best in the Braves, but yeah.
Well,
that's another story.
What about this scenario? Cleveland's for you two.
It's gonna happen, dude. He's gonna go back to Cleveland.
He's going back to Cleveland.
That's my kind of my.
That's gonna be a retirement tour.
Bronny's got to have his year in the G League, right? What if that 1 year hit when he's 40 years old and he's done with the Lakers, he's free agent, and Bronny just signed with the G League and he's playing with somebody. What if that 1 year, while he can't play with Bronny, he plays a 1-year contract in Cleveland with the way that Cleveland is now, with Mobley and Allen and
Sexton
and the guy from Vanderbilt that's playing point guard. His name's escaping me right now. Holland, I think. Like, what if LeBron does go back to Cleveland
with all this
really super young, talented Cleveland team and play one year with them?
You mean the team he could have had in LA until we traded him all away?
Well, that's the funny thing is, like, he traded that whole damn team away, right? Guess who's in the playoffs? The Pelicans! Where everybody went! And Lonzo Ball's playing for Chicago! And Chicago's in the playoffs!
Yeah.
Like, all these players that you traded away are in the playoffs, and you're not, so...
Coaching.
Oh, yeah, coaching.
Coaching.
All Frank Vogel's fault.
Yes. Do you think Cleveland will take him back?
No.
Yes. Yeah.
Would they? Yeah, I think they would. As a hometown boy, they'd get him on
for his retirement tour.
Yes.
He's not gonna take anything less than $40 million, and they don't have the cap space to take $40 million.
Yeah, they
They
do.
get rid of Karis LeVert and Kevin Love, and all of a sudden they got $48 million.
I would say yeah. They got
the cap space.
They could make it happen.
Plus, the NBA, everybody just goes over the luxury tax and pays it anyways. So
yeah.
And good well, everybody in Cleveland would be a sold out arena again if LeBron came back.
Yeah.
So
Ed Davis,
our savior.
Ed Davis.
Ed Davis winning $1.6 million.
He was on the national championship with North Carolina. Freaking Ed Davis.
They still won't win a championship.
No, I don't think they will.
LeBron's not gonna win another championship. Period.
No,
I hope not.
I don't think he will.
He's done.
So
mark it right now. April 12th. 9:59 p.m.
10
LeBron
o'clock.
will not win another championship.
So either way, that's our discussion on the LeBron topics.
Chaos.
the LeBron saga that is going down in LA.
It's like a hurricane comes through and we're in the path of destruction following it. The hurricane is just LeBron.
So tell us what you
Hurricane
think.
LeBron.
I say tell us what you think, and like always, like, comment, subscribe.